Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm gonna talk to you about my favorite sourdough essentials. Before I start talking jars and tubs and Danish dough whisks, I wanna start with the starter. So if you want to get a starter and you don't wanna go through the steps of creating your own, this is what I would suggest. This is what I did. So I first hopped online on like Facebook or whatever and hit up my locals in my neighborhood and just asked if anyone had a starter. And I got one easily the first time that way. Since then, I killed him on accident. You have to keep it up, which is something that's often hard for me to do because, I don't know, ADHD, kids, life, whatever. Out of sight, out of mind, like make it maybe present in the fridge, like when you first open it up so you'll be reminded. I had to get a second starter and I just have this funny story for you. I think let's get cozy. Okay, how do you think I got my starter for sourdough? So you know Facebook Marketplace? Yeah. I actually went on there to buy one. And do you know what happened?
Cheater! Okay.
No. So this guy was like, go to this address at this time and I'll sell it to you. I go to the address and guess what it was? It was a bakery. So I go in the bakery, there's no guy there. There's just people working there. So I went up to the counter and I was like, I'm here for the starter. She like put it in like an order like it was coffee or something. And I'm like, this isn't the guy, like what's going on? So she's like, okay, your order will be up soon. It was a lot cheaper than the guy was trying to sell me. I think you could actually go to bakeries and buy starters. But then he sent me a message and he's like, where are you? And I'm like, I came, I bought, I'm gone, thanks. And that was it. So weird things happen on the internet, even when it comes to starters. So anyway, I'm gonna carry on with this video. So once you get your starter and you've got it and you're feeding it on a regular basis and it's in the fridge and you're making discard and all that, you're gonna need jars. Like keep it in a glass jar. Don't put it in plastic, please. I have like these ball jars. This is what, 32 ounces? So I use these wide mouth mason jars. And then I also have these Weck that I ended up switching over to. Weck is way better. Look at how much wider it is. And then if you know anything about anything, sourdough turns into like cement. Like the flour and water like literally feels like cement, which gets all stuck up in these rings. So that is why I love using these Weck. These Weck jars are the 743 ones, 28.7 ounces. I have grown to love these plastic tops. They actually come with these glass tops. This is, oops, not the right one. That was for something else. But it does come with a gasket seal, and then you have these little clips. So if there was a seal on it, then you would just clip it like so and store it this way. You're gonna need a scale. It's probably one of my favorite and most important essentials. People, make your life easy. Get a scale and weigh everything. Weigh everything. Let's get back to the beginning. All right, so when I first started making sourdough, it was, you know, a little intimidating, and I definitely had things that I could use on hand. So if you're just starting out, a bowl like this big is gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna be great. If you're doubling your recipe, get a couple bowls. Glass is good too, or like a big heavy ceramic. And then when you're doing in between your stretch and folds, just a kitchen towel, dampen it and lay it over. So that was easy to begin with, but if you're anything like me, when I start getting into something, I like to go all in. That's why I upgraded to these Cambros. I like this 6-quart one. You can tell by the measurements on the side how much your dough has risen. So those are great for making your dough in, and you can stretch and fold in there, cover it up without lid, and also, of course, you know, letting it do its bulk ferment. What am I forgetting? Dough whisk. Totally can use your hands. You can totally use like spatulas or whatever, but someone invented this for a reason, and I am all for it. This is my Danish dough whisk. It actually came with a set that I got with like Banneton Baskets, the lame, you know, for scoring your bread, and then this. And I wasn't sure how bad I needed this until I had it. And I don't know what it is, but like when you're first mixing your dough into that shaggy, you know, situation, there's something about this thing that just brings me so much joy. It's just the biggest pet peeve of mine to get all that sticky dough on my fingers. But you know what? Sometimes when I'm just feeling like I can't touch any dough, I will use these nitrile gloves. Sometimes it's just nice to have these. Then you're not touching all the crazy dough. It's just on your gloves, and you can wash your gloves and you can reuse them. Like I just take them off and then put them back on. And then we've got the Banneton Baskets. They're starting to pile up. Some relatives were on to me that I love making sourdough, so they started gifting me these. But I do have various sizes, like this is a 10-inch and a 9-inch that came with my set. And then these, and of course there's these linen. I'm so much happier with these, and they're easy to care for. When I'm done, I will take it and just scrub it by hand in the sink with a little soap and water, and then just like squeeze it out and let it dry, and then just give this a wipe. So these are handy. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, the lame. So this one came with the set. You can never have too many, right? But these are so nice for scoring the dough, and they come with extra blades. It's like a razor blade. So keep it away from the kids, but I mean, obviously you could do it with a knife if you're just starting out, or if you don't care about something like this. I'm just showing you what I like to have for my kit. Oh, I know, the Dutch ovens. Okay, come hither. I'm kind of a Dutch oven fanatic, and if you've seen any of my other videos on here, then it's no surprise. You know, I'm gonna get all of them. I'm gonna show you all of them. Whew! This is my big guy. Oh, this is my Le Creuset. I think it's like a 6.75 quart. It works. This is what I think I originally used because this was my first Dutch oven. And I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna be doing this all the time, I wanna get like ones that I can kind of trash a little bit. Oof, these are heavy. Okay, this is my Mueller one, like a 6 quart. So this has been handy dandy. And then I got this also at the same time. This is a Caroti, and that's another one kind of the same size. I think it's 5 quart or 6 quart. I always forget. But I started thinking that because of their shape, my bread was starting to stretch out a little flat. I honestly don't know if that was the real reason. I think it was because it was like not proofed right or whatever, but that was an excuse to get this 4 quart Coquette from Staub. A French oven, someone once pointed out. It's not a Dutch oven, it's a French oven. I went to France and went to the outlet, and oh my gosh, I could just live there. There's this steamer pot. Look at that. Ta-da. Oh my gosh. I want a big coquette. What the heck? What's that? Tagine. There's so many. Oh, I love this color. By the way, I should not have brought the kids. They made it kind of miserable. I would have stayed all day if it wasn't for them. So anyway, so this is another one that I like to use for baking, and it has been so nice. I also don't want to like trash it and make it the bread Dutch oven, if you know what I mean. Like I just have seen other people's devoted Dutch ovens and they just look like they're disgusting. And I think that's why things are getting in here that I can't really clean out, but it's honestly not looking so bad at all. Also, are these silicone slings that you put in your Dutch oven. So when you're dumping out the proofed bread, you know, and you're ready to score it and put it in the oven. Whoops, come here. You just lift it and put it into your Dutch oven and then put the lid on. Sometimes like that, sometimes I don't think it really matters if these are inside or out, but these have been a lifesaver. Oh, thermometer. I don't think I would be able to call it a full kit if it also wasn't for this. This is my Thermapen, and I use it to figure out the temperature of the water, both when I'm feeding my starter, but also when I'm making the dough. 90 degrees or so is essential for it. So doop, doop. These are my oven mitts that are like completely waterproof and silicone. This, like when I'm going in with the big Dutch ovens and I'm taking off the lid halfway through. You can even pick up the bowl with these if you don't want to use the sling for some reason, but or you don't have a sling. All right, we have been through a lot of it. I think we almost covered everything, but I do have a few honorable mentions. So these are my Spurtles. I use them when I am mixing my sourdough. These are another thing that come in really handy. I also forgot to mention how important these like dough scrapers are. I almost use these plastic ones more than the stainless steel just because they're just more flexible. So when I'm scraping out the dough, if I'm dividing the dough into two, I do like to use this nice sharp stainless steel one with this wood handle. It even has measurements on it. I forgot to mention, I also have this enameled cast iron duo. Yeah, I bake it, and then when you want to remove it, but then if you want to bake like whatever, you have two as well. If you want to do banana bread, whatever. I forgot to mention bowl covers that I like using. So originally I was using these beeswax wraps. I have a few in this size, and then they also come like with these little ones. They're very handy for a lot of different things. They're like just the size of my bowl here, but I feel like it's always just kind of loose. I have since found that I love these stretchy ones that have kind of like this inside material. It's kind of waterproof. So I feel like I'm getting a nice cover on here. So this goes beyond sourdough too. I mean, if I have salads in here, here's the medium size, here's a small size. Stretchy. I just wash it in the sink with like soap and water, but I think you can wash it in the laundry as well. Yeah, these are just amazing for so many uses other than just covering your bowl for sourdough. And then I learned about these. So they're another bowl covering, but they're like a hybrid of that one and then wax. So super cool. And these have different sizes. So we've got this one, the next size down, the next, that. I think that's all of them. So with these fun bread bags, these are the ones that have the zipper and the clip. It also came with this guy. This one's different because it doesn't really have like a super thick lining here. It seems more like thin, just kind of like as a covering, but not as like a total sealed covering, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I think that's it. Did I forget anything? Probably, but now I know what I forgot. Bread bags. And I have a few different sizes and whatnot to show you. Oh, look at that. I forgot that I wrapped this up. So this is one way that you can use the beeswax. I have a few linen ones that are actually lined with this like plastic non-BPA liner that keeps your bread fresher longer. These are 17 inches by 13 inches and they have this drawstring close. These were a 2-pack. I think I was making really big boules and I couldn't fit it into a Ziploc, so that's why I started buying these. But then I realized that this was just too big for one. I mean, I do double up the recipe and do 2, so it's good for 2. After much complaining, just decided to get these non-BPA plastic liner drawstring. I like the size of this very much so. So these smaller ones are a 3-pack, 12 by 13. And then I have these ones. These are like kind of more of a shiny non-linen material. There's a clip and a zipper for this one. So here's the zipper. And then the liner is another kind of like plastic TPU liner, no BPA. In terms of these bowls, you can put this bowl in here. I like these for cold proofing in the fridge. And once your dough turns into bread, then storing your boules in here as well. So these are 17 by 13. Looks are deceiving, but these are both the same size, extra large. You can get different designs and whatnot. I like the blue. There we go. I think that's it, right?
Yes.
Dun 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 dun. Let's eat bread. Like and subscribe. I'll see you again.